Okay, I looked all around the internet. I spent probably 40 minutes trying to find a good version of, excuse me, of Imagine, John Lennon's song Imagine, for ukulele, and I could not find a good version. I actually I found probably 4 or 5 different versions, and a couple of them, of course, were like guitar chords or piano chords, whatever. But a chord is a chord. C on a ukulele and a C on a guitar, or a C on a piano, or a C chord on any other instrument. It's still a C chord. So chords are chords. But I think I found like probably 4 or 5 different versions, and not a single one of them was actually correct and had the cool little interesting parts of the song. So there's like a part of the song, you know, where it's what? No. Those little notes weren't in it. So I would find a version with like the chords were correct, but it didn't have any of the other parts. Or I'd find a version that had the other parts, but they weren't completely correct and some of the chords were wrong or whatever. So like I did with the other video for Here Comes the Sun, I just came up with my own little way to do it. So let's get into it. And of course I wrote it all down. It's like a disaster, but that's kind of how I do everything. Excuse me. Okay, so the chords are really simple chords, super simple chords. It's in the key of C, and I go like this because it's piano. So the chords that are being used are C, F, A minor, G, which had G. Yeah, no. G's in key. Sorry, I'm thinking of the key of G. G, D minor. An E7. So I think they're all pretty basic chords. I'll just run through them really quick. The F, 2 0 1 0, A minor, 2 0 0 0, and I'm going from the G string to the A string. The D minor, 2 2 1 0, G 0 2 3 2, C 0 0 0 1. That didn't come out very loud, but G7 0 2 1 2. I like to think of it as the G is 2 3 2, the G7 is 2 1 2. So it's sort of like you take like the little triangle shape and flip it. But G7, and I think that's all the chords. Okay, so it's written on piano, and there's a lot of stuff that happens with the piano. It's not super complex, but there are some notes happening on the piano that we just can't do on a ukulele. One, we only have 4 strings to deal with, and the way ukulele is tuned, like say for an F chord, this note here is an A, and this last string is also an A, so you're actually playing 2 of the exact same notes. So even though we're strumming 4 strings, we're really only playing 3 different notes, with 2 of the notes being the same note, duplicated. So there's just some things that we can't do on a ukulele. Another issue is a standard piano with 88 keys covers a little over 7 octaves. So that means from the lowest note to the highest note, it just goes through all of the 12 notes, and then the other 12 notes the next octave up higher in pitch, then the next 12, then the next 12. So it goes, it's like 7 1/3 octaves or something like that. Ukulele, the lowest note we have is that C there, and on a piano, it's called middle C, and it's the C that's sort of in that middle octave. So it's right near the middle of the piano. It's not like dead center, but they call it middle C. So already all the notes lower than that on a piano, we can't even play. And a ukulele really only, you rarely get much past like the 10th or whatever fret. So the actual usable range is what they call it. The notes from low to high, how many there are, is called the range. The usable range of a ukulele is really like an octave and a half-ish. But of a standard, a soprano ukulele, there are lower ukuleles and stuff like that. But so there's a lot we can't do. So what I did was I kind of worked everything so that it seems to work. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so the little intro is C and then F. Okay, but we're not going to use this string here for the intro. Actually, I'm not sure that we use that string for the entire song. I don't think we do. But anyway. So that's the little intro bit. So it's a C. And what I'm doing is I'm plucking the last 2 strings and then the open C string as the lower note. So just so what I did was I dropped down to the 2nd fret there, and then hit just it played the 2 strings, and then just the 3rd fret there, and then to the F, and then the ascending, which means going up, chromatic, which means all the notes, not in a certain key, just all the notes. So the little chromatic run is just because then that last note is the beginning of that again. Okay, so that's sort of the main little figure, the main little bit of the song, and of course played on piano, but ukulele. Okay, so okay, twice, then the vocals come in. Okay, in the vocals, it's that exact same thing 4 times. In the last time, there is no ascending chromatic thing. Okay, So the verse is just simply so with no da, 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 at the very tail end. It just stays on the F. Okay, so that's the verse. Then we get to like the pre-chorus part. Sort of like in the song yesterday. I'm not sure what's the chorus and what's not, because the very first word in the song is imagine, blah, 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 blah. So that's the name of the song. So it's sort of like, where's the chorus? It's just there. But this is the part, the imagine all the people living for today. Okay, so that's F. Sorry, it's then A minor, D minor, F, then G, and it just sort of holds that G7. Technically, I wrote it out, and it's technically, and then with that 5th fret happening. So what I'm doing is I'm playing the G7, but on that last string I'm actually playing the 5th fret, because there's a little piano melody note that goes do, do, do. So you could definitely play it like that. And then it goes to the verse. And 4 times again. Without the da, 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 so it stays on the F, and then we get to the imagine all the people part again. Okay, then we get to the next part, the you may say I'm a dreamer part. So again, I don't know if this is the chorus. I don't know. So it's F, G, C, E7, F, G, C, E7, F, G, C, E7. Then the last line, so that's 3 times. Then the last line, F, G, C. Sorry, I messed up. And then there's a little part. Okay, so that part is 3rd fret and 3rd fret on those last 2 strings, then 5th fret, and then 7th fret. So it's a little bit of a stretch, and then back to, Okay, so that's a verse again. Then the Imagine All the People part again. So. In the G7 there. And then the You May Say I'm a Dreamer part. So F, G, C, E7, again, F, G, C, E7, F, G, C, E7, F, G, C. And for that last time, it just hits the C once, and that's it. So the very last line of the whole song, the fourth line of the You May Say I'm a Dreamer part. And that's it. So I like to end on just those two strings, because the whole song we're doing that. Okay, so that whole pattern. To me, it just sounds a little weird if we were to go. But we definitely could. Actually, now that I played it, it doesn't sound super weird. But I just like the. And that's it. Very simple. Just end. There it is. So I was talking about the sort of plucking pattern, so let's take a little look at that too. So all the chords and everything I'll have written out in the little bits and stuff. But so yes, for the whole song we don't even use that G string at all. Okay, so aside from the little, and then the little bits and the things like that, where I tried to get some of the little piano bits in on the ukulele. And also during the Imagine All the People part, there is a lot of kind of lower piano note things going on. It's not super busy, but there is some little things going on that I really couldn't figure out a good way to put it together on a ukulele. And playing through the song, it didn't strike me as anything super important to get on the ukulele. Like the is actually lower on the piano, but we can't play it on the ukulele because that's the lowest note we have, and we need to get that note. So in A, we have a C. We don't have an A lower than that C, so we can't do that at a lower octave. And then, the I thought was important in the song to do on the ukulele. But during the Imagine All the People part, there's stuff going on in the lower notes, but oh well. So for the whole song, just the chords written out, you could really kind of just and all that, and just keep playing. So what I'm doing is these two fingers on those two strings and thumb on that C, the C string. So that's all I'm doing. Okay, so you can go through all kinds of chords with that. whatever. You know, whatever. But that's the little sort of picking pattern for the song. With little added things like that added in the, like I just talked about. But that's really it. It's pretty simple. So you should now be able to play Imagine by John Lennon, and it should sound pretty cool. A little bit better than just strumming through the chords, you know, which you definitely could. Like the intro, it's C to F, so you know, if you imagine it, it doesn't sound nearly as good as with all the little bits and everything. So that's Imagine by John Lennon. It's a very cool song.